All right, you were just listening to the sweet tunes of the Doohickeys. Hi, I'm Jim Jefferies. Welcome to At This Moment with me, Jim Jefferies, and Amos Gill. How you doing, Gilly? How's Australia treating you? Plug your festival. You're at the Adelaide Fringe.
Adelaide Fringe.
What's the name of your show?
I'm at the Adelaide Fringe. I've opened my own comedy club because for years I've realised, and Jim, you'd know this as well, mate. Basically, when you're a comedian for many years, you're just a beer salesman. You might as well be a beer rep. Your job is to keep people drinking piss at comedy clubs, tents, festivals, and you end up making about 20% maximum of the ticket revenue, and the people that get rich are the bar owners. So I've fucking started a comedy club with my manager, and we're going to try and do that. And we thought it would be very easy. And let me tell you, it's been 5 sleepless nights. Because it turns out...
Have you got a liquor license? You got security? You got everything you need to run a comedy club? You do. And you did this all from America, and you haven't been in Adelaide for months and months and months, and you've set this up.
Well, it's been up to our manager to do it. And we found out the other day, he goes, mate, it's not too much of a big deal, but the council has shut us down as there is no ventilation into the building. So the whole thing's kind of fucked. So now we have eight industrial worksite fans with tubing running down the Fringe Underground Comedy Club, but we're back. So it's been very stressful.
I will say that's Australia for you, right? In England, you can go down to the Cavern in Liverpool where the Beatles played. It's it's literally 5 stories underground, no ventilation. People were smoking tabs down there the whole time, and the Beatles were singing in there. It was overpacked. There was one way in, one way out, complete fire hazard. No one gives a fuck. But Australians will be like, oh, you're an inch too short here on the stairs, mate. We're very laid back, but how dare you not have there's a bit of a scrape here. That's going to cost you.
Dude, so you said the stairs. How is this, right? So we go, all right, well, we've got this ventilation pipe running down next to the balustrades where the stairs are. And they go, you'll need to move them 2 inches to the left to meet code. So then we moved the staircase handles. And they said, now that you've touched the staircase handles, they're no longer grandfathered in and must meet modern code, which means you'll have to build all new stairs. And you start to hear that and you think, fuck, imagine them looking after the Edinburgh Festival where some of the buildings are caves where people dying of the Black Death were stored.
I will say this about Australia. When the Palisades burnt down, right, and everyone's there going, all these liberals, they're going to find out about work permits. They're going to find out how hard it is to get a swimming pool made and how deep it is. I'm like, I don't know. I reckon it'd be harder in Australia. Australia's fucking the worst for that.
It's like crazy.
In America, I own a car that has 900 and something horsepower, right? It frangs along, right? I just like to play with it a little bit. I don't drive like an idiot or anything like that. But in Australia, I would never bother because there's too many speed cameras, too many people pulling double demerit points, the death toll on the weekend, the death toll's coming in. So anyway, my point is, you haven't got a comedy club.
No, the comedy club is back, and we're ready to go. We've got one of your posters from 2015 on the wall.
What's the name of the club?
It's a Fringe Underground Comedy Club, so it's the Fuck Club, which our manager finds very funny.
It's the Fringe Undercover Comedy Underground Comedy, and then club with a K.
No, but just FUCC. I thought the K was a bit much, That doesn't meet code, mate. That doesn't meet code. Are you kidding me?
If I know you like I think I do, it was probably 2 Ks too short for your liking.
So, man, I had a good time. I will say, being back in Perth, my girlfriend said to me today, we were flying back on Virgin Australia, and we're in the Virgin Australia lounge. And she said, I've never seen anything like this before. She goes, it's like 300 people in these really bright colored shirts. Like, what is that? I said, that's called FIFO, love. They're men and women who fly in and out of the desert to dig shit up from the ground, which is essentially our entire economy. And she goes, why the fuck do they do that? I said, because they work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And we were chatting to someone. How's this? You want to hear about a fucking lifestyle. If you're an American listening to this, or a Brit, because there's plenty of Brits I know who are doing this, or Irish. How's this bloke? 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, $200,000 Australian a year. The 2 weeks off, he lives in Bali, 3.5-hour flight from the mine site.
Yep. Rents
$400.
About $300 a month or something like that.
His house, he goes, we've got a 2-bedroom villa with a cleaner and a pool, $18,000 a year. Fucking hell. What is anyone doing?
When I was at university, I was hanging out with opera singers and fucking musical theatre kids, and there would be the ones in the summer that just left Perth, went out gold mining. They'd come back with 60 grand in their pocket, and then the rest of the year they were fine. The rest of the time they were tap dancing and learning how to fucking sing songs, Broadway musicals. But it's and driving big trucks and stuff out there, digging big holes. Hey, I want to talk a little bit. We'll talk a bit about later, but I have had some more information on Karen Willis from the Village People. It blew up a little bit. It blew up a little bit because TMZ started. They did a podcast with Victor Willis, where Victor Willis actually did say that there was some double entendres going. So I figured out a way. Let's talk about it now.
Just quickly, I was walking down the into Adelaide through the customs area, and I got stopped by a Singaporean gay couple who said, "You're the man fighting the Village People." I said, "Yes, I am. I am fighting the Village People." And they go, "Have your day in court."
Yeah. I want my day in court. And if I don't get my day in court with the Village People, I want my day in court with somebody, because I didn't know you couldn't say things were about bumming in the shower. And I spoke to Karen Willis on the phone. Actually, she rang me up and I returned the call. Jack was in the room when the call happened, so Jack can reiterate what was said. She said to me, she goes, "You can call it a gay anthem, but don't say it's about sex in the shower." She goes, "It is a gay anthem, but it's also a bar mitzvah anthem. It's also a wedding anthem. It's a sports anthem. And if people like me start saying it's about bumming in the showers, then McDonald's won't use it on adverts. And that's when we're going to get into some real trouble." So,
but she's a corporate shill.
Yeah. She thinks the YMCA, the McDonald's are going to bring out the YMCA burger. And then they're going to go, "Hang on a minute. The guy who says cunt a lot has a different opinion." He has a lot of sway with our McDonald's people.
Because if there's one thing you don't see in American marketing, it's gay people. You don't see anything gay. Everything's pink and gay flag now anyway.
Well, I just want to see if I look, is it just the Village People or all musicians like this? Because I've been listening to a lot of songs, a lot of different tracks. And I've decided that there's a lot of songs that are just about fucking in the shower. Hey Jude by the Beatles. Paul McCartney, come at me, sue me. Hey Jude is about fucking in the showers. That's why at the end, it's about someone actually being raped in prison. That's why at the end, he's like, nah. He's fighting him off. And Jude's trying to bum him in the showers.
I think you're going to say that was an anti-Semitic anthem.
No. He just changed the letter. Yeah. No, it was, yeah.
Like, it was a subliminal one.
Yeah, it was a Nazi protest song. Here's one, though, I was listening to. If the Presley estate wants to go after me, I've decided that Jailhouse Rock actually is about prison sex. Jailhouse Rock. Okay, number 27 said to number 3, "You're the prettiest jailbird I ever did see. I sure would enjoy your company. Come on and do the Jailhouse Rock with me. Let's rock." Right? And then another one said, another song goes, "If you can't find a partner, get a wooden chair." Another verse goes, there's Spider Jones said to Spider Monkey or something, "Now's time to break out." He goes, I don't want to leave. I want to stay here and get my kicks. Let's rock." Who's the guy who doesn't want to break out of prison? He wants to stay there and get his kicks. Jailhouse Rock is about bumming in prison. 100%.
You saw the Shawshank Redemption. A lot of people don't like getting out, mate. They become institutionalized and they hang themselves when they leave. So that's also a very sad state of affairs that's over there. So I'm just going from Elvis's perspective. There are a lot of men who enjoy the camaraderie of it all. But let's put it to bed. Are you, after your phone call, in a better or worse position?
No, okay, so this is the problem. So she said to me on the phone, she said, she goes, "You can say it's a gay anthem, but you can't say it's about bumming in the showers."
No, I get that, but I mean, like on a human level, how did you guys get on?
Oh, she's a nice lady. She's all right. I think we actually like each other. But there's then Victor goes on the TMZ podcast and he says, that Jim's already apologized. Never apologized. Never. What I said was, I said, I'll stop saying it's about bumming and I'll just say it's a gay anthem. And then I said, "Hey, but come on, Karen, come on. What about in the Navy?" And she went like this, "In the Navy's just about joining the Navy." It's got nothing. What do you mean? Why would you even?
Dude.
She was appalled. And then I said, all right, what about macho men? And she goes, macho men's just about men working out, getting their muscles big. And I said, well, why doesn't it mention any girls? And she goes, because women didn't work out in the gyms in the 70s.
And she goes, that's a valid point.
That's true. That's true. I wasn't around the 70s, but I think it was like the 80s with Jane Fonda before the workout thing. Before that, women were lazy slobs. But now they've gotten good.
You know what she has? She has a job like being a White House press secretary for a bad administration where she's like, I have to defend this not being gay because my husband's turned on it being gay. And she's got to go there and front the media and be like, it's not gay. The Navy's straight.
Okay, Jack, have you got the footage? Have you got the footage from the TMZ podcast? A little bit of a clip at all.
You can hang out with all the boys. You can do whatever you feel. There were a lot of people who kind of winked at that and said, yeah, they're kind of talking to two groups here. They're talking to straight people about maybe, just playing basketball. And maybe they're talking to the gay community where they can have a laugh about something else.
Well, that was something that I credited myself on, was writing songs with what was called a double entendre. Basically, I would write a song to where you could take it any kind of way you wanted it. If you were straight, you could take it with the lyrics for somebody straight, or if you were gay, you could take it for somebody gay.
Okay, so if you were straight, you could take it as basketball. And if you're gay, you could take it up the ass. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you can't say there's a double entendre that all communities can take it either way. Then I interpret it one of the ways that you intended it to be taken for a certain group, and then get litigious about the whole thing.
He's got the same approach to songwriting that Chinese.
You cut out then. Hold on. You can say so. You got the same approach to songwriting as, and Jack, make a note.
I said he's got the same approach to songwriting that Chinese restaurants in Australia have with their titles. Because when I,
it's like this Zoom knows when you're going to say something wrong.
grew up Chinese restaurants that have because I had a Chinese restaurant down the road from me growing up called New Cum Den.
New Cum Den? Oh, like when they come of some young guy type of thing, like with the double entendre.
People, they used to sell merch, Cum Den. And all that, we'd always go in there for a meal, and you'd go, if you don't think this is funny and rude, why are you selling merch for a dumpling store?
I will say this: what young Mrs. Karen Willis said, who as I said is a nice enough lady. She said to me, and she goes, and the way that you mentioned, she goes, the way that you said that we took all that game money all that time. She goes, let me tell you something about the village people. Let me tell you something. She goes, and Jack, you heard this, right?
Yeah, and he says, Victor Willis says this in the clip as well.
Yeah, she goes, and I might get these figures ever so slightly wrong, but she goes, 60% of the Village People fans are white heterosexual women. 30% of the Village People fans are white heterosexual men, and 10% is LGBTQ, right? No black people. There's no black people in there. It's just 60% white women, 60% white, 30% white guys, and then 10% the gays.
I told you, Victor's own kind don't like it.
That's why there was never an Asian village person that came in. They never brought him in dressed like Bruce Lee or anything like that to stand in the back.
To be fair, did you ever see the Village People live at the Apollo? That's probably a tough room for them.
Yeah, you never watch comedy Def Jam, and then they cut to the audience, and there was an Indian slapping his thigh.
Rick James was probably more their style.
I just think look, I will stop saying it's about sex in the shower. It's just a gay anthem. All their songs were gay. I forgot about the milkshake as well. We never talked about the milkshake. Do the milkshake, do the shake. Do you remember that song?
I don't
That's
know.
That's from their movie You Can't Stop the Music, right? And there's a song called Do the Milkshake where they have all their regular outfits, but they're in sequence. And it's just about having a wank. It's like when you get home, do the milkshake. It's about it doesn't say do the milkshake on a man's face. It doesn't do that. Like it's not that on the nose. Pardon my pun.
It's a double on. It's a double on.
Oh, you cut out again. Every time you say something offensive, every time you fucking say something offensive, the Zoom goes, no.
Fucking Rode is a gay company. Look at it. It's fucking.
That came through.
Yeah, there you go. Zoom's acting like Skype all of a sudden.
It's your Wi-Fi that keeps cutting out because your words will come in like 10 seconds later.
Yeah, because my manager's a tight ass. God knows what even this fucking network is. The internet in Australia sucks. I've got to say that. By the way,
I'm looking. Okay, so this is your house. Do you have a picture of Audrey Hepburn? Are you some basic bitch from fucking like some 20-year-old girl?
How'd you see that?
It's right up in the corner. What have you got that up there for? Oh, you cut out again. You cut out. Let me guess. In your bathroom, you have like a picture of Marilyn Monroe, like with a skirt coming up. You fucking edgy fuck.
Right. I was going to say to you also about the fly-in, fly-out workers.
Yeah.
What I noticed was how many women there are now that do this. Yeah. They go to the mines to work, which did make me think. And actually, my girlfriend Annika said this. It used to be the number one density of prostitutes in
okay, so people don't know about this. Kalgoorlie is, I think, the biggest man-made dug hole in the world. It's in central Western Australia. It has bars in it that it's meant to be 8 or 9 men to every one woman in town. The bars have bartenders behind the bar that don't have any tops on. The reason they don't have any tops on is not because it's a strip joint or something like that, because that's the way you know you're not in a gay bar, because there's a set of tits in the corner and you can go, aha, there's bloody girls there. We're just a bunch of cowboys having a drink, right? So I used to go out there and do gigs when I lived in Perth. I've been out to Kalgoorlie a couple of times. Now they have these things called starting stores, which are these heritage-listed buildings. They're little tiny sheds with red doors that just basically have a mattress on the ground. And back in the day, the hookers used to sit on rocking chairs out the front, and you go into the door and they'd fly the girls in, because these guys were down holes for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they had to get their end away because they were, there's only so many dicks you can suck before you get tired, right? And they thought it's time to go with a woman. And so they used to have a load and load of prostitutes there, but you're saying that they don't need the hookers anymore because there's actual female workers.
And this is what we found remarkable, like really quite good looking birds, like young, in shape women, and just a lot.
You just said in shape women and it cut out again.
It's so I'm having a fucking nightmare, man. This is a horror.
As soon as it's really in shape women and they're right up for... Yeah,
sluts.
They're good looking birds.
We got that one.
Yeah, I got that
good looking women. Yeah.
No, but my girlfriend said to me, if you were working in the mining game back in the day, you'd think, oh, he's off to raise a family. She said, now I'd be thinking, fuck, he's up to no good. Look at all these hot chicks that are working here. They're all trapped in the desert in transportable accommodation.
Yeah, and it's the first time in your life you can say that you've had sex with a miner and actually not get away with it.
Why is that not cutting out? Why is defamation to me the internet? Honestly, fucking hell. All right, I wanted to talk about this with. Oh, by the way, I must say,
hold on. While we're at there's another phenomenon going on in Australia, because I'm in Melbourne right now, and I just saw it again that people don't know about it. So on the road workers, right? So when British people come out to Australia, we used to make them pick fruit, right, for a couple of months before they could come in. We've talked about this before, I think. I don't know. We've talked about it on the air or whatever. But they've also, have you noticed all the really good-looking girls with the pink helmets that do the stop slow sign?
The lollipop lady is one of the highest-paid jobs in Australia.
They're all Irish immigrants. It's like a racket. It's all the good-looking girls, and you have to be good-looking to get the job. So, which is very calming when you're in traffic and you're late for work, and she's stopping it and starting it. You go, all right, well, that doesn't bother me as much.
Do you want to listen to this? In Australia, traffic controllers, also known as lollipop people, are on $40 an hour.
Yeah.
They just stand there slowing traffic doubt it. It's just a chicken high vis. Usually, it's not. Honestly, if you're from overseas, get to this desert and dig some holes.
Yeah. Which is a euphemism.
No miners. Just get over there because you got to think, and I think of all my friends from law school or accountancy, what a waste of fucking time. There's no money in it. If you're in Australia, be a tradie. And you've got to...
It's gotten dark here. Keep talking. I'm going to turn a light on.
Yeah, it got kind of creepy over there, didn't it? I will say, Jack, even, it's a flat week. When you've been sued by the village people, you're like, what do you do next? It's hard to be excited by almost anything, you know? Like, what a flat fucking follow-up. I need more. I found out, Jim, I need litigation to feel alive. I'm searching for lawsuits now, dude.
Why? What's your next one?
No, I'm just saying I want lawsuits in my life. It made me feel alive. I was in such a good mood, and now I'm on a come down from like litigation.
But we don't know. No, we haven't backed down. So if the village people are going to do what they said they're going to do, we haven't made a formal apology, and I haven't apologized to them. They said the next step was that they were going to, and she said to me, Karen said, I won't be taking care of it. I'm sending it off to another lawyer. Yeah. And she said to me, she goes, you don't understand that this will cost you between $500,000, $750,000 in law fees, and the lawyers are just going to drag it on and waste all my money. But wouldn't it be the same for both of us?
Yeah, I don't know where she thinks she's getting a never-ending stream of cash flow.
Well, the YMCA. What do you fucking think of?
Well, it's not Pride right now, so I'm sure that they've already burnt through the cash.
Yeah, and obviously, probably, the Indian probably left some money or whatever. One of them will be, right? And she said to me, she said, David Hoda, we read out of David Hoda, who was the construction worker. She said, David Hoda took that tweet away because he said it was a gay anthem. And I have a suspicion that the reason that David Hoda took that tweet away is because she fucking rang him up. I can't prove that, but there's no doubt that Karen knew about that tweet and she knew that it went wrong. Karen is just looking at the internet all fucking day, just trying to find, she's probably on gay porn right now going, what's that soundtrack in the back? What is that little thing?
If it's got a gay cop in it, she's like, you're infringing on my husband. Are you saying your husband's a gay cop? Hey.
Yeah, I wrote lyrics. I wrote lyrics so they could work both ways. So people would enjoy them every way.
So
you're cutting out. I don't know if this podcast is going to make it.
I'll tell you about a couple of...
You fucking... I've got better reception in a fucking hotel than you have in your own fucking house, for crying out loud.
This is I went to go to the fucking Triple M studios and they now close at 3 p.m. because they've nationalized everything. So the radio is on their way out. That was my retirement plan and that's gone.
Your retirement plan was to come back and do Australian radio. All right, so let's talk about what else is going on in the world. At the moment, Delta, a plane just flipped over.
No, but what's going on with air travel?
This would be bloody this. You know what this would be? That would be some fucking dwarf, right? Was sitting there guiding the plane in, and it would have been a dwarf.
You know what it was? It was a trans dwarf, and instead of those sticks that he waves, he had 2 matchsticks.
Yeah, he had two glow in the dark cocks, and he was just thinking more about sex, and he was waving the planes in, and then he did a flippity flip, and the pilot he just went all the way around, and then did anyone die before I keep going on about this? Everyone's all right?
No one died.
No one
injuries.
Injuries.
Let's give it up for seatbelts and all the good work they do, right? Let's give it up for them, eh? They the seatbelts once again nailed it. How did it flip? Did it hit the ground, bounce, and flip? Did it come in on its? Has anyone got any footage? Did it come in on the roof?
Okay, a Delta Airlines plane crashed and flipped in Toronto with all 80 on board surviving. Here's what we know. Okay, it says it took off 11:47 a.m. And by the way, from Minneapolis to Toronto, imagine how cold that is.
Yeah, but also
upside down in a plane.
That's only an hour flight. That's going to, that's just a puddle jumper. It
says we hit the ground and we were sideways. Okay, so it's landed and then it's skidded out to the side. It's gone fully sick to the side, Brett, and then it's just rolled over and they're hanging.
But how do you roll a plane because of the wings? It's like that old joke, they give all the people in the nursing home Viagra so they won't roll out of bed, right? Now, if you have wings, how can the thing roll over?
I guess the wings are snapped.
No, because you'd have to go all the way up onto a big axis and then you'd flip over. If the wings snapped, aren't the wings filled with like gasoline?
It looks like, yeah, because then they started spraying that with the foam, so it didn't like explode or anything like that. What do you get from that? Like, I remember I got in the Toronto airport, I got delayed 4 hours and I got a $15 voucher. What is the voucher on that situation?
Everyone's getting 500 miles. Everyone's getting 500 miles. And a couple's pass to the lounge.
You don't get platinum medallion?
No, they can't just be giving away everything. You get 500 points, which would be a nice economy flight from LA to San Francisco. That's in your back pocket. You can't put a price on that. And then you get into the lounge, and you also
everyone. Okay. While you're hanging upside down, we are going to be giving you complimentary Wi-Fi and a Biscoff, extra Biscoff.
I'm a big fan of Delta. Delta's who I've got all my points with. I just flew out here on United, it's a god-awful airline. Terrible, right? But I am a million miler, right? And then sometimes they're like, we're welcoming these people on the plane, that people in the plane. And I'm like, I'm still like fourth. I don't know how the fuck. Do you know what you get for being a million miler? A trophy.
Yeah.
A trophy. And it's one of those ones that's a big, thick bit of plastic. It's just a square of fucking plastic where they've etched in million miler. I keep it. It's on my shelf. It's in the living room. I get to look at it all day.
I would have thought you also get a divorce because you're not spending enough time at home, I would suggest. I'd say the million miler trophy goes into your apartment because your wife's left and had an affair while you're traveling around the world.
I've traveled on Delta for so long. I've seen air stewardesses die of old age. That's how long I've been going on here. While we're on plastics, got to talk about our good mate Trump, and he's getting rid of the straws.
Explain that link of plastics again. Where did we?
Because of the plastic trophy. That's just like a chunk of plastic. Because I don't mind. See, people will go. See, I don't like that he banned the straws. Right? I'm not for the banning of the straws. Deep down, I'm an environmentalist. Right? I believe that we all got to do our bit and all that type of stuff. You're in Perth. They've gotten rid of all plastics. Basically, all single-use plastics. It's not like you can't have plastic bowls in your kitchen or Tupperware or plastic trophies from Delta, but in like things like takeaway containers, gone. They're just using bamboo takeaway containers. They use the paper straws. Now, let's be honest. No one likes the straws. We don't like them. The straws don't work as good as the plastic straws.
It may be the one plastic thing that honestly we could all come together and say we've tried the alternatives, and unfortunately it is just better.
It's better.
Fuck the turtle.
You can't. Well, this is the thing is they've shown me one picture. It's the same turtle every time getting a straw removed from its nose, right? Now, I want to know the turtle numbers and I need to know the facts and figures. If they're saying that we're losing thousands of turtles to these straws, we have to suck it up, pardon the pun, right? But if we've only lost one or two, they keep on showing the same picture of the same turtle, right? Is it just one turtle?
I'm looking at this, and I don't want to come across as the Alex Jones of this podcast, but I know that is my position. But I'm beginning to believe I'm a turtle denier at this point. I think that's a psyop by Greenpeace where they found this one turtle that had that straw and they've capitalized that to take away our fucking plastic straws. Show me, we've all seen the same one.
Yeah, the same one.
Show me any other situation where an in and out straw has fucked up any other aquatic animal.
If they can show me, I just need 10 bits of straw footage, 10 different turtles, and I am paper straw for the rest of my life, right? And also, I think we should get rid of them just because we should get rid of single-use plastic, right? Single-use plastic, we don't need it in this world. There's too much shit in the world. I don't think we need it. But straws should be the last bit of single-use plastic that we get rid of. Like, get rid of takeaway containers. That works fine with bamboo. You can have those Chinese boxes that we all enjoyed. Remember when you first saw one of them in a movie in America? Like, they have that box, that the white box with the Chinese red writing on the side, and they used to get in there with their chopsticks. And as an Australian, you thought, geez, that looks all right. The Americans are doing some good work there, right?
I also think in Australia, they try macaroni pipes. So it's like it's a pasta straw. That's what the trendy cafes are doing over here.
Right. Well, that'd work. That'd work because I tell you where you can't have a plastic straw. Bulba. You can't get a real big, thick bamboo or paper straw to suck up bulbas. Bulbas need to be a firm straw. You need a lot of velocity to get through it.
Isn't it funny though that it did become an alpha male issue about straws? Like, because when I grew up, if you used a straw, you're a fucking pussy. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like straws were for kids at a juice box, and now we've got like men being like, "I need me straw back." Like, for what drink?
I'll tell you the perfect straw, the straw that beats all other straws for the perfect width and everything like that. McDonald's. The McDonald's straw is the plastic straw is the king of all straws. When you suck up a Coca-Cola from there, you know you've had a treat. And you can do frozen Coke with it. It can get a milkshake. See, this is another thing. Do the milkshake. You can't use a paper straw in a milkshake because
absolutely not.
No,
it's paper mache.
That's not even in the realm of doing. But see, we have changed things. Okay, so when I was a kid, McDonald's Big Mac came in a styrofoam box, right? They said styrofoam was bad, full of CFCs. That's why you have holes in the ozone layer. Get rid of the styrofoam. Then we went the dog collar. They had the collar around the Big Mac and they wrapped it. That was for a while. That was to keep it all in. That was pretty good because you lifted it off and then the lettuce sort of fell out and always kept its, body. And then now we go for the cardboard box. I haven't met anyone who's gone, I miss the bloody styrofoam. The styrofoam might be the styrofoam box. We're all happy with the cardboard box in that scenario, correct?
You're not going to get any arguments from me. I'm quite sure that the styrofoam caused autism, but that's for another podcast.
Do you believe that styrofoam caused autism?
At this point, I'm just saying whatever is going through to see if the internet's still working.
Okay, so
I wasn't convinced you could hear me, to be honest.
So Chick-fil-A still do a styrofoam cup with their beverages and a plastic straw, right? Styrofoam cups with ice in a drink keep the drink as fresh as fresh. Like for a drink, they're actually very good. But I don't like using it. I'd rather use the cardboard cup because that's better for the environment than the styrofoam, correct?
I went there the other day and they had paper.
Oh, bloody hell. Jack's a conspiracy.
Jack, our friend here, he cares so much about the environment that when he drives through Chick-fil-A, in his 900 horsepower fuel guzzler, he goes, I'll take
Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Wait 1 minute. You're trying to say that I'm some type of fucking right-wing nut job because I drive a muscle car. I'll have you know that my other car's a Tesla. The most left-wing vehicle that's ever been.
Oh, wait.
Dude,
that was the problem with the Tesla. You bought the Tesla, you felt good about yourself. You thought, oh, geez, I might be able to pick up some woman with purple hair in this. I've done a good job here. I've done a good job. And now fucking people yell at you. They tell you off like you got it yesterday. It's on a lease. Got another year left.
You've got a sticker on the back of your Tesla saying, wait till you see my other car. And then it's a fucking Mustang 500. What is it again, your car? A Hellcat. It's a Dodge Hellcat.
Dodge Challenger Hellcat Red Eye.
That's the funny thing. Jim has to drive his Dodge Hellcat Red Eye to left-wing events to be accepted now. That's how bad. Meanwhile, here I am, poor, taking the goddamn tram.
You drive an Audi, dick face. What are you talking about?
I have a Volkswagen because it's the people's car.
Yeah, what happened to that Audi? You had an Audi for 5 seconds. What
do you think happened to that Audi? It's like it happened like every other Audi. I bought it. It fucking collapsed within 3 months because the Audi is, after 60,000 miles, a death trap. It's the worst. There's a reason they're $10,000 because dickheads like me go, this is a pretty good looking car at only $8,000.
This is the first time I've ever seen you go against the Germans.
This is true. Well, I'm ready to go against the Germans again. Actually, I want to bring that up. Have you seen the Germans? Jack, how can I play some audio through this? I bet I can't, or can I?
It's illegal to display Nazi symbolism, a swastika, or deny the Holocaust. That's clear. Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher if you insult someone in the internet.
Why?
Because in internet, it stays there. If we are talking here face to face, you insult me, I insult you, okay, finish. But if you in the internet, if I insult you or a politician,
that sticks around forever.
Yeah.
The prosecutors explain German law also prohibits the spread of malicious gossip, violent threats, and fake quotes.
If somebody posts something that's not true, and then somebody else reposts it or likes it, are they committing a crime?
Yeah, in the case of reposting, it is a crime as well, because the reader can't distinguish whether you just invented this or just reposted it. That's the same for us.
The punishment for breaking hate speech laws can include jail time for repeat offenders. But in most cases, a judge levies a stiff fine and sometimes keeps their devices.
How do people react when you take their phones from them?
They are shocked. It's a kind of punishment if you lose your smartphone. It's even worse than the fine you have to pay.
Because your whole life is typically on your phone now.
Have you been making untrue statements? Then we will take your phone from
look,
you.
Nobody hates being lied about or bullshit about more on the internet than me and other comedians and entertainers. And I'm not just saying me. But you can't do that, right? You can't.
That's
fucking
absolute madness.
We can't make a law no more cunts. As much as we'd like to have a law called no more cunts, you can't just have a no more cunt law, can you?
I mean, if that was the law of the United States, 80% of the commenters on this would be going to prison for saying I've got a fat head.
Ah, yeah, but also
insulting.
Karen Willis would she'd have me over a fucking barrel.
This is the thing. Who decides what is hateful? You are saying things about a song that they deem to be hateful, and it'd be like,
what are you? Wait! You just fucking sold me up the river. Just because Karen Willis keeps on putting me in the fucking lawsuit, and you hardly get a mention. You're like this. You're like this, and you've said some things, and I stand by you. Fuck you.
You're controversial, man. I'm a friend.
Controversial.
No, I thought that was because, obviously JD Vance went over and was talking about the security relationship and the free speech laws. And so 60 Minutes did this with the Germans, and they were talking about their new hate speech, because Australia is looking for hate speech laws as well. And it's one thing to be like, I support the Nazi party, as much as it is to essentially criticize your politicians for things that you don't agree with. And you can say mean things about people, and I don't think you should have your phone taken away or access to the internet stripped. That feels a little bit too Orwellian for mine.
Some people don't deserve the internet though, but I don't want to be the person to choose who. We could start.
How bullied was that bloke?
We could start on the comment section underneath this. We'll just implement. We'll do that as a test case. We'll see how that goes, and then we can expand it to the rest of the country. I'd like to have a power that if every time I saw someone who's a bit of a cunt, I don't want them dead, right? I'd like an ability just to go, snap that cunt's Achilles heel. Just watch him fall to the ground. That'd be a fun thing.
Well, I think Saddam probably was doing that, to be honest with you. What you're saying is a dictatorship.
Look, Saddam Hussein, he wasn't all bad. He wasn't all bad. He raised a couple of young men who had a bit of chutzpah about them.
Say what you will about Saddam. You minded your P's and Q's around him, and it was a more polite place online. Knowing you can lose.
I don't agree with that. Yeah. Why would the Germans? Why are the Germans overcorrecting 80 years later as well? Like, it feels like a bit of a wait until they've overcorrected here.
It's just, it's people who have. That's the problem with Germany. Germany's entire reason for existing at this point is to make it up for what they believe they fucked up with, and so they go way too much onto the other side, where they're throwing people in prison for a repost.
For a repost. Yeah.
You come home drunk, you do a repost, and it turns out to be factually inaccurate. You've got the police in there.
Yeah, you've just come home. You get in the couch. You've had a few beers. You put on a bit of Kanye. Right, and you think, what's he put on Twitter at the moment? What's he put on Twitter at the moment?
That's pretty funny. I'll retweet that. He's gone insane.
All right, so what do you think about Kanye West selling swastika t-shirts?
listen, you've got to say the ad that he made.
You got to be anti this. Come on.
No.
But people who don't know, Amos loves Kanye West, right? And as I was saying, like before we got on the air, Kanye West's wife is here in Australia, and there's a lot of like just people just like, oh geez, I hope she's okay. Oh, I hope he's not being mean to her. And there's a lot of like, are they getting divorced talk in the type of thing. And then I was talking to some people and they said, oh, on the red carpet, I said, oh, she's bloody got a hell of a body. And they go, but she looks so sad behind the eyes. And I was like, don't sell it for me. No,
she's got no prenuptial agreement with Kanye West. So don't feel sorry for Bianca Censori.
She's got no prenup.
No prenup.
Well done.
No prenuptial whatsoever.
Well done. Good work, Australian girl.
Her architecture portfolio is quite good. Look it up. She does a thing called Stone Age design. She makes houses look like from the Flintstones. Actually, she's got some pretty cool designs. But the Kanye's shirts, this is what I think is amusing about it, is he makes a Super Bowl ad. Okay. Did you see
the Super Bowl? He's laying there. He's talking about his teeth. He's doing it on an iPhone.
But he's on an iPhone.
It's a swinging dick moment because he's like, this is one of the most expensive ads you'll ever see, and I'm putting $0 into it. Yeah.
$0 into it. I spent all this money on these silly teeth. Yeah. And then he goes, go to Yeezy.com. And people are probably thinking, I can buy some of those future shoes that he has and, an oversized hoodie. And then right as that happens, he cancels everything off the website except for the swastika t-shirt, which is abhorrent. But this is a man.
Okay, but isn't that because that's okay? Is that illegal? That's hate speech. Is that illegal?
What to sell? I don't believe it is illegal to sell the swastika. I mean, you can be as a corporation, you can be against it, and as a society, you can not like it. But I think that contravenes. In Europe, it is.
Holocaust denying is illegal.
Yeah, but there's no denial of this. This is just the swastika.
Just the swastika.
If you grow up going like to any kind of law school, you always learn about the Skokie case, right? Do you know what the Skokie, Illinois case is?
Oh, I know. I'm all about it. But you say how you think it is.
Well, most people who were big left wingers when I was growing up, and the old left wing of America was free speech radicalism, which was Jewish lawyers who were defending Nazis in order to hold their rallies because they said, while we find the speech to be horrific, it is important that people can express themselves because sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Yeah. I may not like what you say, but I'll die for your right to say it.
But I'll buy it from Shopify for $15. I will buy that premium cotton shirt.
Okay, so carry on.
But there is something interesting in going, okay, he puts this out. If you buy it, you do think that they're tracking through Shopify who purchased that shirt. Very likely, Kanye West has just delivered the best thing to the FBI and ever in finding where America's Nazis are, because if anyone purchased that shirt, I assure you they're on a list.
You don't think? Do you? What is the?
Because my girlfriend called me and said, "Don't buy one of the shirts."
She's like, "Don't buy one of the shirts. I already got you one for your birthday."
She was like, "You can't have this. You're getting married to a German girl. You cannot have the swastika shirt." I said, I think without the German marriage, the swastika is still a bit on the nose, to be honest.
Yeah. Your marriage is going to look like the end of fucking The Sound of Music.
Have I ever told you about meeting Annika's like really, really old?
Hang on. You don't just brush over this. Okay, so
no, because this is fun. This is funny.
Okay, and I know. Is this about the Helly Hansen?
No, the Helly Hansen's one. So I'm meeting my German in-laws, and we went skiing, and they all wear Helly Hansen, which is
the best winter clothes you can get. Yeah.
Yes, HH. And so I just said to them at breakfast, I said, "Oh, geez, I know the political climate's shifting a little bit, but it's a little bit bold, isn't it? HH, oh, it's right in your face." And maybe one of them laughed, and then the rest of them.
Okay, but wait a minute. You haven't even said what you think HH means. This might be going over some people's heads. Hail Hitler.
Hail Hitler.
So you had. Well, let's just paint a picture of you and how you moved through this world. You with your German girlfriend who grew up in America, very German father, great guy. I've met him. Mother's a great person, lovely family. They have relatives from Germany coming out, and they're all wearing their Helly Hansen stuff. And you, not at dinner, after a few drinks, At fucking breakfast, you think to yourself, at this moment, I'll say to him, hey, it looks like you're wearing a shirt that says Hail Hitler. You can dress up all around it all you want and just go, oh, a bit on the nose, like that. That's a load of bullshit. But you said, Hail Hitler.
I said, you got for Hail Hitler. I said, usually the white supremacist groups of today go with 88 because H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. You know,
Why
at
the
least
fuck do you know these things? I would never. I know nothing about white supremacy like you do. You really are too up to date, and it's not for research or for stand up. It's just fucking.
I was looking. Listen, if you've ever sat in a tattoo shop, you've got to find something that speaks to you.
Yeah.
And the dragon meant nothing. The dragon means nothing to me, and I would never do Japanese writing. That's cultural appropriation and racist. But the white power tattoo, now that I thought isn't appropriating anything.
That's just become a gif. You yelling white power and slamming your fucking hands and down. All right.
No, but what happened was they came back after lunch in North Face jackets.
Yeah. He upset him so much that they stopped wearing their nice clothing and they went for the brand that's slightly below.
Dude,
lovely German people who are just on holiday, just trying to ski, just have a good time, and he made them feel bad about. So that's like if I went at you about something that happened to the Aboriginals, right? And said it's your fault. It's been a long fucking time, man. You can't be blaming them, and they're just wearing a jacket that says HH.
Yeah, well, their hands were at a weird angle at the time, but also their grandfather.
They were trying to get something off the third shelf.
They're saying my heart goes out to you, but no, their grandfather is an amazing man. He's in his 90s. And,
still hiding away in Argentina.
Wonderful tan on him, I'll tell you. Right. He's only just made his way back, but
carry on.
So after we'd had
every week, I'm going to get cancelled. I'm a fucking game show host. The things that you fucking want to talk about. Anyway, so carry on.
So
what's happening at this moment? 6 months ago, I spoke to some Germans at this moment.
We're eating a gaucho steak and celebrating Lionel Messi's goal at the time, and he started looking at my head, and he was quite drunk from schnapps, and he's very old German, and he goes, "Look at the width of your cheeks.
Oh,
there's such a wide Slavic head."
Oh no, they never would have killed you. They would have done experiments on you. You big fucking wine head.
They're measuring my ears and nose, and they're all like, "Opa, no!" And apparently, when he gets drunk, he does a bit of that old world phrenology where he's like, "Your nose is not so long, which means you would not be a commander, but a very, very, very good foot soldier who takes orders based on my nose and ear size."
Hey, I hear someone's got a new passport. What's happened?
Oh, yes. So I have a Slavic head. How's this? I am now a dual citizen on this podcast. This is my first podcast as a official son of the state of Hrvatska. I'm an official Croatian. I was sworn in 1 week ago in Perth at the embassy of Croatia.
They wrap a picnic table around you like cloth, do they?
Mate, I have never had a funnier experience. So it's a country of 3.5 million people. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of us in Australia. So I went in. Now, these are a couple of true stories. First of all, I tried to get my Croatian citizenship many years ago when I was about 14. And back then, you had to pass a language test to be given Croatian citizenship.
Yeah, and you couldn't finish English, could you?
I could only say like "jebente mate," which is like "fuck your mum" and "you're a dickhead." I swore. That's it.
Yeah, and they were like, you went in and went, "I fucked your mum," and they went, "Not good enough. You'll have to say, my father fucked my mom."
I couldn't do it. So we went to Zagreb as a family, and my brother got it because he was under the right age group. I said, "Mum, I can't do this. I can't speak the language. I'll fail the 10-minute test." And my mum's a little insane. Trots goes, "Don't worry. I'm going to tell him you're retarded." Okay?
Right. That's a quote. You're allowed to say the word in a quote. Yeah.
So her plan was she was going to go in there and go, he can't speak English. How do you expect him to speak Croatian? And you can't deny the boy his blood right based on the fact that he can only go,
That's a good thing because they would have kept you out of the army as well. That's a double banger there. Like, do you have to do public service as a Croatian?
Well, this is what I'm a little concerned about. So I go
like
in.
If they go to war, they would have to sign. Like, they can't just ask for people to go.
Mate,
in. If they go to war,
signed 20 documents last week. I couldn't read any of them. I had to fill in my athletic numbers. I'm quite sure I've just volunteered for NATO.
Some of the documents were printed on some type of bread.
So anyway, I obviously didn't get the Croatian citizenship back then. This time I go in, it's only me doing the ceremony. Sometimes it's like a group of 10.
Well, they couldn't fit 3 of your heads in a room.
So there's me, Zoran, who is the consul, Zoran's assistant.
Zoran's assistant, yeah.
And a lady called Fran. And they go, please go into the official ceremony room and we'll commence the procedure. So
You'll see a hole in wall. Put mouth over hole.
And I walk in and there's a TV, 2 couches, and the coat of arms with an Aussie flag and a Croatian flag. And they go, okay, now you will be upstanding. So I stand up and the assistant turns on the TV, goes onto YouTube and goes, Croatian national anthem. Croatian national anthem. And then just spent about 3 minutes picking from YouTube which anthem we were going to stand to. And so they just pick a random YouTube of the Croatian flag flapping back and forth. Because, okay, we will commence the ceremony. And we stand, and the 4 of us have our hand on our hearts, just watching YouTube.
And did it have the words underneath it?
There was no words underneath. It was just a flapping flag. And I'm looking at everyone, and it went for so long. And then they stop and go, okay, now they read some oath, which I couldn't understand. Halfway through the oath, the fire alarm starts going off.
which is a better tune than the national anthem.
You say that, I can't say that, mate. I'll go to prison for that. I don't know what the hate speech laws are back when in Croatia anymore. Yeah. It's great anthem, proud people. And anyway, then they go, now it's time to read your oath. I said, I don't know the oath. They said, you haven't been studying the oath. Read this. And they give me a piece of paper. And I just have to stand there looking at all of these ambassadors going, Brdozo mene, prežime, što imaš? I don't know.
Like, stop. It's in English. Read it properly.
It was, mate, I was going completely red. The anthem's flapping in the background. The fire alarm's going off.
Thank God there was no one there.
One of the guys was a war hero, and you could see he was thinking, I can't believe our country is letting in this fucking piece of shit who clearly just wants the citizenship so he can go to, the Amalfi Coast quicker. You know what I mean? This guy's have little use for us. And I just blag my way through that. And then I have to stand up, sign all of these documents. That's where I was quite sure that I, was joining the Ukrainian army or something like that.
Was Trots there? Did she go along with you?
Mum had an appointment and missed it.
she had important Botox. She couldn't go.
And then
when you came home, you think she was happy. You couldn't tell.
And finally, to be a Croatian, they wheeled in a Serbian bloke that I had to
wrestle.
I had to wrestle a Serbian man. And if I could choke him out.
Feat of strength.
You will show your loyalty. They put the gun in my hand.
You could seriously go to war though, right?
Yeah, but I've got 4 ACL tears. So I think, I'll be right.
You and Trump, mate. You and Trump. You have fucking shin splints or something, right?
I'm not going to die for the Donbass. Let me tell you that.
I wrote a premise for a movie once years ago, which was about a guy that it was almost like Wedding Crashers, but it was about a guy who lied to get out of the Second World War in London, said he was a homosexual, so he didn't have to go to war, right? And all of his mates went off to war, And then he was still around London. And now, because everyone else is gone, there's like 8 women to every one guy. And he's just cleaning up around town. And he's just waiting for like letters to be delivered to widowers. And then he'd knock on the door and comfort them. It was a really dark comedy about every time he heard the air raid siren go, he'd go in the underground and comfort some women.
So basically that was your war fantasy, was it? For a lot of kids, it was storming the beaches. Your war fantasy was, there's a lot of widows that need cheering up, and that's where I'll do my bit.
It was just about a dirtbag shagging women during the Second World War. I couldn't get it off the ground. Yeah. I think people thought the movie was too expensive because of all the old vehicles you would have needed.
It was called Dear John. But I am genuinely, I don't want to talk too much shit about my country. I've wanted this because my brother's a citizen, all my family are citizens except for me, and I finally got it. And it is super cool to get your secondary passport.
Look, one of the proudest days of my life is when I became an American citizen. I loved it. I went and we did it on the Jim Jefferies show, but we also did it like we actually went in and it was me and like. No, were you there, Jack? Did you actually come to it?
Yeah.
It was like a load of like other nationalities, loads of Mexican people.
It was like 500 people.
500 people, and you all go in and you did it. And like, so I was there for when my eldest son's mother, she became a citizen because she's Canadian, and there was Obama giving a speech, right? I look, I don't care what people say when they hate him or whatever. The guy was a hell of a talker, right? Hell of a speech giver. And he said, "Hey, no, welcome to." I can't do the impersonation. He goes, "Welcome to America. It's a wonderful country." Blah 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 blah. You felt very loved and embraced, right? But when I got my citizenship, it was Trump on the screen, and he didn't want us coming in. He went like this. His speech was like this. So you've passed the test. Well, try to assimilate.
Last through the door. You really snuck in there, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a wonderful country. It's an amazing place full of wonderful people. Try to assimilate. Do what you can. Try to get along with people like this, right? And everyone was just sort of like angry. And then they play, "'Cause I'm proud to be an American, 'cause at least I'm motherfucking free, right? And I will stand up." And they just have a video of an eagle flying with a flag, and everyone sort of tears up. But this is the great bit. When you leave with your new certificate, right? You've got your I'm an American certificate they give you. It's got a little plaque. It's all. I've got it like in a folder. When you leave, there are people that I'm pretty sure are illegal immigrants. You know how like you've got like the hot dog stands and all that stuff. There was people selling like they're selling like knockoff folders for your certificate to go in. They had the American thing, and they were doing it cash in hand work. They weren't paying. You remember those, Jack?
I have the flag from the ceremony right here.
Yeah. And they're all selling, and people like folder. I bought one of them for $10. You want to keep it in a nice folder?
Yeah,
it's a bit of ingenuity. I like it. Not
the front
ingenuity.
Of just people selling illegal folders out the front of a Staples. Welcome to America. This is what it's going to be.
And then what did you do where they stapled your citizenship document to something? What was that?
One of the things they just mailed it to me was my not my citizenship, but when I actually then after that I had to send this document that I love so much to get the passport. I just had to send it through the post, right? And then they returned it to me, just rolled up in a and just shoved it into the mailbox with my next bit of my receipt stapled to the corner of it. I couldn't even keep it nice.
Listen, there's something to be said. I know it's not a Vogue thing, and we've made a lot of jokes about my politics, but there's something wonderful about it. Despite the wars and the intolerance, but nationalism for all countries is a beautiful thing. When you are saying an oath and you think of the country's history and there's a woman next to me in tears and she's hugging me and she's like, our country fought for this ability to be free in the 90s and you get to be a son of this country. And then I think I get patriotic about America. I get patriotic about Australia. I love seeing every nation getting patriotic. And I said to a friend, I go, what does that make me when I'm a nationalist on behalf of other people too? And he goes, I don't know, a traitor.
I find when people get too patriotic, it gets a little bit irritating, and sometimes patriotism can cross over into bigotry and even racism. But in saying that, I'm a very proud Australian. I'm very proud to be grow up in Australia. I think Australia is a wonderful place, and I can see a time in my life where
oh, there you are.
One of the proudest days of my life, and I'm very proud to be an American as well. I see a lot of great points. I wish I could have gotten British citizenship as well, British ones. I'm a big fan of the UK, but
there's
I'm a proud American. I wear a Dodgers hat, mate. I'll tell you why I wear a Dodgers hat. Going bald. So
I will tell you, I was a
baseball
fucking nightmare.
The baseball cap is the #1 outfit for the balding man. If you're a balding man, get into baseball. There'll be years before anyone will even notice. I don't even like the sport. I bought season tickets just so I can cover this up.
Yeah. So you're saying you're assimilating into alopecia. If you think I wasn't the worst, the night after I got my citizenship, the amount of racial humor I was doing on stage where I could look at the crowd and go, "Oh, sorry, I'm from Eastern Europe. We're not allowed to say this." I'm pushing the immigrant thing hard. I'm like, I'm just a refugee from war-torn Croatia.
You are bloody war-torn Croatia. You're a private school boy from Australia. Like, fucking hell, the hardship that you must have gone through.
This bloke called Zoran, though, he was captured by the Serbian army. He was tortured. And he said to me, he goes, it's crazy because when you are been through the war, he goes, I find Aussie Croatians to be the most hard line right wing. I was fighting in the war and I forgive all Serbian and we are all Slavic brothers. He was basically saying that Aussies are like Aussie wogs and nuts is what he was basically.
Okay. So Australia is arguably the greatest sporting nation on earth next to Croatia, I would say, is the greatest sporting nation on earth for population versus things you've done. World Cup finals, right? Unbelievable. Basketballs for the Clips. We got Zubac, right? Big Zoo, right? We got 2 Australians in that team as well. You got to follow the Clips now. You got the main Croatian guy and 2 Australians. You got to be all Clips. Got to be all Clips.
Well, I'm going for my Croatians. I'm going for my USA citizenship as well. And then God help everyone.
We have other Americans as well playing for the team.
If I get my US citizenship, I will be truly fucking unbearable. Because I'm already painfully pro-America now. And my visa is done in 3 months. But once that document comes through, holy shit, Jim. I'm going to be I've already become too much of an American cunt here for my.
Okay, but this is my thing. So Australia World Cup playing against Croatia, the greatest sporting event I've ever been to. Australia versus Croatia in the World Cup 2006, Germany. Who are you going for?
Man, I remember it well. I was going for Croatia that World Cup because I thought they had a better chance of actually winning. And then the moment they stepped on the pitch against Australia, I was like, fucking break Siminic's leg, Harry Kuehl. These fucking pan-headed Slavs are going to get whooped by Australia. That's where you find out I was all Aussie.
How are you saying pan-headed fools? And you're and it's going to come back on me, isn't it? I don't condone.
I'm not here. I haven't heard any of this.
I'm not pan-headed fools.
We've got flat heads. Have you ever noticed that about a lot of Slavic countries? We have flat heads at the back.
This is why I don't understand that your internet keeps cutting out. Maybe that's fucking your head.
We have flat heads because our parents swaddled us too hard as children. Do you know that? And like your head gets flat because you're laid down on your back. You're laid down on the back of the head.
Oh, okay. So people have. Okay, so there's this invention called snoo, which we had for our last baby, that can give babies flat heads right at the back. But it's this genius. If you ever have a baby, you got to buy a snoo. I think it's like $600 or something, but it's not cheap. But it is a genius invention. It's this little tiny cot. You swaddle the kids in there. You strap them to the side of the mattress, so they're just swaddled and strapped. And if the baby wakes up, the thing just goes until it goes back to sleep. And then, like, if it cries some more, it goes even more actively till it's asleep. And the baby sleeps through the night. It never misses one. But it does give a few kids a flat head every now and again. Don't sue me. Don't see me. And also, it has gay sex in the shower.